Hey guys, J-Man37X here bringing you another cookie clicker video. Very recently, it's very nice. Orteil's been working pretty hard on this gardens update, which is pretty cool. I like it a lot. We're on 2.0058 beta, as you can see here. So we can go ahead and hop over to the info tab, and we'll just go ahead and start going through the patch notes here. So added a blinky label. I can't show that. So I originally had the previous beta open in a separate tab that I was going to use to like show you guys, you know, compare what's changed. Certain things changed between versions, but that tab crashed and then I reloaded it and it was this beta. So I don't know of a way to go back in the beta once the new ones come out. So unfortunately I can't do that, but I have like rough numbers for a few things, but unfortunately it means I can't show off the info label. 20 plants. This is pretty significant. This is, you know, by far the bulk of the update here. Which, speaking of which, I actually wanted to check something really quick. And they're not here. Okay, nice. I had just set these up. I'm just gonna try and set this up really quick here. I know of a few of the plants that have been added, so I meant to do this previously, but when the tab crashed, it kind of messed some things up, so I'm just fixing this. Basically, there's some new plants, and I can get a few of them now, so I'm gonna start working towards those while we're working on this. So anyway, ignore that. We'll be back to that. Don't worry. Consider that a little teaser. So yeah, 20 plants. I believe this is all the plants that he wanted to add. So the game now has, I think, all of the plants that he is going to be adding, at least for now. 2 new tools. Yeah, one of which only appears once everything's unlocked. I actually think I know what it is because people have looked in the code so far. But you see, the first one here is actually pretty nice. It shows exactly what all of your plants do, and then it also gives you a few tips. So it says, you know, how to crossbreed them. Tiles, when you ascend, your plants are reset but keep all the seeds. Just a lot of very important stuff. Garden has no effect when you're closed. Also, I don't think they set up, but they fixed a bug where basically you see the CPS actually changes. Before, freezing the garden actually kept you with the setup. Like, if you had a bunch of baker berries or bake berries, you would actually keep this buff even when it was frozen. So it was actually kind of overpowered, but now it actually stops correctly, which is unfortunate, but it's the intended behavior, so can't really blame them there. So there's that. Garden soils are now unlocked based on how many farms. Of course, we already have all the farms, so we already have all of these soils, unless they added new ones, which I don't think so. A sugar lump refill option for old gardens. I'll get to that in a little bit. That's goes a bit outside of gardens as well. Sugar lumps are now unlocked. Whenever you baked it. This is a pretty big change, I think. So basically, now you don't have to ascend for the first time to unlock sugar lumps. Now it's just after 1 billion cookies, which I think this is, because for a while, whenever people ask when to ascend, I was always very conflicted, because on the one hand, you want to wait to ascend until you have a lot of upgrades, or like a lot of benefits that you can get from it. But on the other hand, you want to start getting sugar lumps as quickly as possible. So it's always been a bit of a dilemma for me as far as which they should do. But now this means that I don't have to, you know, the decision is now very straightforward when you should ascend. Or, you know, at least you know that you don't want to ascend immediately just so you can start getting sugar lumps. This is a very good change, I think. I like this a lot. Remembers which minigames. This is actually pretty nice because that's kind of a bit of an annoying thing in the past. That's nice. Minigame, or oh, okay, so yeah, now the sugar lump refills can only be done every 15 minutes, and it's shared across minigames. So again, we'll get to that in a bit. A couple minor things about golden cookies and season pop-ups, which are nice. Reverted the nerf to building CPS. This is significant, I would say, for sure. So you remember in the previous patch, you see building CPS has been lowered. They put them all back. So whatever they were at before, they are now back to that. They changed the kitten upgrades to compensate for that a bit. But basically, you'll notice my CPS is 2.779 decillion, roughly. After being withered, of course, by the wrinklers. I don't know what it compares to without that. But this is the main reason I wanted to have the other version. But I remember it was about 900 nonillion. So my CPS was roughly tripled by this update. Which, needless to say, is pretty significant. That's pretty big deal, I would say, for sure. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, they nerfed the kitten upgrades a bit, but the kitten upgrades are just always overpowered anyway, so that's fine. CPS achievements now have a steeper requirement. I'll show that off a bit later. And permanent upgrade slots. I actually haven't looked at that yet, but I'll check that out in a bit. So we're going to do gardens last, I think, because that's where kind of the meat of the content has been added here. So for now, let's just go to stats, kind of look through here a bit. So let's see, where are my permanent upgrade slots? I'm trying to find them. Is it these ones? Yeah, okay. So, well, it shows you which ones they are. I thought there was like a pop-up that tells you what that thing does, but okay, maybe I don't understand it correctly. You'll notice there's actually new upgrades, even though there's none available up here. What I believe that is I think they've added 6 new upgrades related to gardens, actually. So, like, harvesting certain plants, or, like, certain numbers of plants, or something along those lines, now it gives you a chance to give you new cookie upgrades that do different things. Kind of like, how, for example, in the Halloween event, popping Wrinklers gives you a chance to give cookies. I think harvesting certain plants has a chance to give you new upgrades, but they do not just CPS increases. I think they actually do some interesting things. I have a Reddit post that I've been kind of skimming through about the new update that tells a little bit about that. So we'll get to that in a bit, but there's 6 new upgrades that I don't have any of them, and I don't know how to get any except like maybe 1 so far. So that's pretty significant. A lot of this stuff I'm going to elaborate on more in a future video when the update is fully released and I have a bunch of the stuff. I'll elaborate a lot more on this stuff. I'll certainly be doing like a full tutorial on the gardens once it's fully released, and once I have some chance to kind of put that together in a coherent fashion. It'll be like a full in-depth walkthrough of gardens, how to get all the seeds, starting out, stuff like that. And lastly is achievements. You'll notice there are more achievements. This is the other thing I want to compare. There are 7 new achievements that they've added in this version. Of course, I still don't have these ones. They said they increased, as you can see, the CPS achievements are a little higher now. I actually naturally got all of these last time. I wish I could have compared this to what they were before, but basically since I got them when they were easier to get, I still have them, even though I don't have this. I don't have 100 decillion or 1 undecillion cookies per second at all. I still have them, so it doesn't make a difference for me. But I actually don't remember what these were at before, to be honest. And apparently they still, even 1 decillion, undecillion per second, and I don't feel like that doesn't really line up with the highest tier of this one, but even still, it's a step in the right direction. None of these are new, I checked, so the new ones are all down here. There's these 5, which I have to assume these are all ascending achievements. I can't be 100% sure, but I have to assume that's what these are. So just ascending with, you know, so basically when I ascend here, I'll actually know for sure, because I should get 2 more achievements when I do that. I'll probably test that actually at the end. I'll do like a save and check it out. And then there's 2 new garden achievements, I assume, that I don't know how to get those either. So, again, this update like just came out. Let me see actually exactly when. I'm pretty sure it came out like today as of recording this. The 15th, yeah. So this is literally today, so there's still not a lot of information on it yet. But like I said, I'm going to have more details on this stuff later on as I learn more and as the community as a whole learns more about it. So I believe that is everything. Let me just double check. I believe that's everything besides the garden changes. Okay. Looks good to me. So these are growing. We don't really have to worry about that right now. So yeah, there's this. I showed you this. You see there's now 14 out of 34 plants. I actually was able to get all of the seeds in the previous version, as you can see here. I'll just kind of briefly hover over those. Again, I'm not going to go too in-depth into all these, just because I'm going to be doing that at a later point. And there's plenty of like pictures that help you out a lot if you just want like a general guide. Oh yeah, okay, so first off, so you can use a sugar lump to refill your soil timer, so you can just instantly be able to change soils, which is kind of nice, I guess. And trigger 1 plant growth tick. People have commented, this seems pretty bad. Like, compared to what the other minigames let you do with a sugar lump, this one seems pretty bad. Maybe intentionally so? I'm not sure, but it's not very good. And you'll see, you can only use this every 15 minutes. I think before you could use this as many times as you wanted, as long as you had the sugar lumps for it. And you could also do some combos like that, I think. So here you can refill your worship slots for 15, or for 1, or you can refill your magic reader. Those are the same, but basically, like, if I spent 1 of these, I'm not going to do it. But if you do this, then you can't refill this for that 15-minute counter. And the fact that there's 15-minute counter at all means apparently there's some, I never really got into it, they're more like active strats, but there is some really powerful strats that you can do by just like refilling some of these things. But you can't do them anymore. So, you know, for better or for worse, a lot of at least some of the old combos that involved like using magic an absolute ton are no longer possible. So then we come to gardens. Like I said, I don't know all of them. Some people have done some checking in the code, so I'm actually going to pop this over here, and we can take a look at this Reddit thread about the update. I'm gonna move this over a bit so that we can see the whole garden, just because it bothers me when you can't do it like there. Okay. So let's see. They have the update log there. So here we have all of the new plants that you can get. So basically, if you have the full 14 from the previous set, you can get, let me look through, you can get Whisker Bloom, which is Shimmer Lily and White Chakra Root. That's what I'm growing right here. You can get, let me look here. You can get, sorry, here. You can get Green Rot, which is Clover and White Mildew. That's what I'm growing here. You can get Tidy Grass, which is Baker Wheat and White Chakra Root right here. And then, apparently, Crumb Spores. Here, misspelled something a bit interesting. Apparently you get those the same way you got the brown mold seeds originally, just by harvesting middleweed. So I'm just growing those here just so I can try working towards that. So basically I'm working towards like four new plants here that I can start, because crumb spores in particular seem like you can check here. Let me do crumb spore. They're used in 4 different plants, which is pretty significant. 5 actually with these ones down here. So that's pretty significant. They're very important. And also the chakra roots, the different chakra roots and stuff, those are used for some plants. Like, they're using some very interesting combinations of old and new plants for some of this stuff. And it's pretty crazy. We can take a quick look at this little picture. I found this a little bit difficult to follow, personally. Let me, whoops. Sorry, hold on. Let me try and get that full screen. I found this a little bit, it's not too bad by all means. But I personally just find the list form a little bit better. But this kind of shows you generally how all the connections are made between plants. So, like, for example, clover is made from guild millet and baker's wheat. So these are both leading into here. I think this would make be a lot more clear if they were arrows. You know, pointing to and from. It'd make it a lot more clear besides just having these lines. But you can that's kind of how it's structured. Basically, it's like a top-down format, I believe. So it's pretty useful. Like I said, I personally find this a little bit more informative, but that's just me. And then we can go ahead and look over it. So in the code, you can see, we'll go down a little bit more because I think it's unlocking all seeds give you access to another tool. It destroys all your plants and resets your seeds, but you get 10 sugar lumps. That is definitely significant. That's definitely not a small thing at all. That's 10 days worth of sugar lumps that you get by doing that. But the problem, of course, is that you have to re-unlock every single seed. So that's probably not something I'm going to be doing. But it is definitely something to keep in mind. So that's what the other upgrade was that he was talking about in the info. And then there's, right here is an upgrade you can get from harvesting Ichor Puffs. It gives -7 minutes to cookie lump, then to sugar lump maturation period. So this is an example of one of the 6 upgrades apparently you can get from harvesting Ichor Puffs. I don't know if it's like a chance or what. That's the thing, is I don't fully know. I don't want that. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Oh, I just realized these are not going to sync up in time at all. But that's fine. That's the thing, is I'm just not at all sure how that all works. So I actually got the crumb spore. Look at that. Okay, perfect. So here's one of the new plants. What does this do actually? Explodes into up to 1 minute CPS at the end of its life cycle. Okay, so it spreads like the metal wheat, but it actually gives us small benefits. That's kind of interesting. Spreads easily. Okay, so there's one of the new plants right there. So that's pretty nice. I can actually just get rid of these for a while. I didn't realize that. Most of these other ones time up okay, but I didn't realize that clovers actually take a long time to grow. But yeah, basically that's what we're looking at right now. We've got a lot of new plants, so I've got a lot of work to do to unlock all those. I'll be working towards that pretty aggressively. Basically, I want to be ready once the full update comes out. I want to be fully ready, you know, with all the information that I need, all the plants, all the upgrades, you know, as many of the achievements as I can get, and I'm sure other people will be doing the same thing, working towards that. So I'll be hopefully have some like wikis and Reddit posts and stuff that are documenting that stuff, so that I can give you guys the most info that I can when the full update drops. But yeah, I think that is going to just about do it for this video. Oh, actually, really quick, let me just double check. we're just going to ascend here. I'm going to save, of course, just because I don't want to actually stick with this Ascension. There's no new heavenly upgrades, of course, as we saw, so nothing interesting there. Ascend, and yep, we just got 2 new achievements, just as I suspected we would. You know, 1, 2, yeah, okay, so I'm assuming probably all 3 of these are just ascending with more cookies baked total. So, yeah, just some more achievements that'll probably take me a little while to get, but some more stuff to work towards, basically. Certainly plenty of... This update has been adding a lot of stuff for late game players, which I think is pretty exciting. A lot more goals to work towards and all that good stuff. But, yeah, that is going to just about do it for this video. Thank you, everyone, very much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check the description for a link to my Twitch.tv channel, where recently I've been streaming a lot of Splatoon 2. Doing like Salmon Run and Turf War. I'm also going to be, I believe the Binding of Isaac final booster pack is going to be coming out within the month or so. Pretty soon, I think. It's in testing last I checked. So, of course, once that comes out, I'll be back on the grind getting all the unlocks. It actually is adding new unlockable items, which is a first for a booster pack. So, it's going to be very interesting. I'll be streaming that a bunch, you know, taking a break from Splatoon to do that. As well as I've recently started up a kind of little vanilla Minecraft server series with Sacred Survival and a few of my college friends. So we typically stream that on Fridays, I think this week. Hopefully this will be up on Monday, and that means that tonight we will actually be streaming that as well. So if that's something that's a bit more of interest to you, feel free to stop by. 8 p.m. EST is when we'll be starting. At least that's when we hope we'll be starting. And yeah, tune in next time for probably... I'm not sure if there's going to be another beta. If so, I'll see you then. And if not, I will see you guys at the full release, hopefully with a bit more knowledge under my belt, so that I can give you guys a little bit more info on what's to come. Oh, and actually, really quick, sorry, I just remembered. Chrono Rice gears plus 3% gram of CPS instead of 1. So, it's just a small thing I just remembered. So, I don't know if some of the, I think, costs of these were changed as well. Like, I think these are more expensive and these are less expensive. I'm not sure. I didn't pay too close attention to that. But, yeah, anywho, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys later. And really quick, one more thing that I've realized I forgot to mention is, it's actually a pretty significant one, is that if you hover over a plant, it now tells you when they will mature, and if they're mature, it'll tell you when they'll decay, like, in about. So it tells you, you know, roughly how long and then how many ticks. It's like, see here, the maturation period is 51 minutes, and then it's up at the top, it says mature in about 34 minutes, and then 12 ticks. So that's actually very useful, because now you don't have to, like, guess when they're going to actually be mature or when they might decay. So it helps you kind of time things out a lot better, which is very nice. I appreciate that upgrade quite a bit. So yeah, just wanted to include that. Also, the plots are no longer just plain circles, you know, a little more interesting, but anywho. Yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.